day from Kamakura, Japan, on this Saturday, November 6th, another beautiful autumn day.
So again, our hakusai is looking pretty good, as is our cabbage and our broccoli. Everything's looking pretty good, pretty good. Here's our ginger over here. As you can see, yeah, looking pretty good. And the plants themselves are okay, so I'm going to leave them for a little while longer before I decide to harvest them. That looks pretty good. Our tower is looking well. The basil is hanging in there. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice watering. We haven't had rain in a couple days, and it looks like we won't be having any for a couple days more. Okay, our radishes. A lot of true leaves coming in. And our carrots. Beginning to see some true leaves there too. So I'll do some thinning in a little while, not quite yet.
Okay, are you ready?
2850円。
はい。
領収書は必要なのかな？
ああ、はい、お願いします。
2850円。
6時半から7時の間。
大体7時ぐらいからの7時過ぎの方が並ばってるから。
ああ、なるほど、なるほど。お願いします。
はい。
じゃあ 200g ください。
200g。400。あとじゃあ200だ。あと400円。
あと400円。
うん。
もう無理だと。もうだって20日で霜が降りちゃえばもうおしまいなの。
This monkey's wondering what I got. Well, I'll show you. So a nice head of broccoli, some nice plump radishes, red okra, cherry tomatoes, and 2 zucchini, and 3 butternut squash. It wasn't cheap. Say it's about $30 just for this little bit. So as the winter months progress, I'll be going to the farmer's market a lot more. It didn't make much sense to go during the summertime when I'm growing my own. But I will be going in the wintertime. So very good, very good. Very happy with this. So I'm going to soak these. Soak these in some water. And I'm going to add a dash of apple cider vinegar. I'll let these soak for a few hours. Whenever I buy produce from the farmer's market, I like to soak them in water steeped with some apple cider vinegar because they've been handled quite a bit. So just for food safety sake, I like to let them soak. I'm going to add a little bit more of the apple cider vinegar. And then, I'll leave them for a few hours, and then I'll rinse them and dry them and store them in plastic bags, wrapped in paper towels. I'll show you that later. Yeah, so with these I can make butternut squash soup. I can also roast them. Yeah, I'll show you some dishes over the winter of how I use butternut squash. So I like to store my butternut squash here in the cabinet with my other foodstuffs, such as popcorn, corn, lentils, dried beans, and other things. Yeah, so I keep them in here where it's nice and dark once the doors are closed, and relatively cool compared to the outer room. So yeah, and they should last me through the winter. I may go and buy some more because I'll be making some soups and roasts and things like that, stews and stuff. So I'll probably get a few more before the end of the year, which will carry me through into the spring. Alrighty, today I'm going to be making a very simple Chinese dish. Simple if you have all the ingredients and have all the equipment. I'm going to be steaming this whole chicken in an Instant Pot along with some ginger. This ginger is not from my garden, but soon enough I'll have my own ginger from the garden ready to cook with. And also I'll be adding some, these are from my garden, these are green onions. So I've got 1,000 grams, 2.2 pounds of chicken. I'm going to wash this and get everything set up. Okay, first of all I want to get the chicken washed, and to avoid splatter I'm going to just fill this bag with water. So doing this way prevents splatter and potential contamination of my sink area with little bugs like E. coli, salmonella, things like that. So, so I'll leave this here in the bag for now and let that drain a bit more, and it will drain into the bag. Okay, once that has drained, I can pat it dry. So I'm going to check the cavity and make sure it's clean. As you can see, that's pretty clean. Okay, now that the chicken is fairly cleaned, I'm also going to do a second cleaning with salt. So I'm going to cover it with salt all over and even inside the cavity here. I'm using generous amounts of salt, and I'm going to rub it in to the skin quite nicely. You want to be careful not to rip the skin or tear it, because you want a nice presentation at the end. And then a good rinse. Again, so you don't want to splatter the water too much. Very nice. So you can see there's a bit of stuff in the water that need not be on the chicken. Okay, next is the marinade. I want to use about 3 tablespoons of oyster sauce. And 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. This is a light soy sauce. And about a tablespoon of sesame oil. Yeah, my measurements are a little bit heavy. That's all right. And a tablespoon of sea salt. It's not terribly fine. That way it'll stick to the chicken very nicely. A little bit more maybe. Yeah. Okay. Give that a nice mix. And I'm simply going to brush this on to the chicken. And I'm not going to use tongs. I'm going to use my fingers. I'm going to be sure that I don't pierce the skin at all. Again, for that nice presentation at the end. And I'm also going to make sure to get some of the marinade inside. And use my little brush here to brush the insides as well. So I'll let this marinate in the fridge for about a half hour or so. Okay, so the chicken has marinated for a half hour. I've decided to use a larger green onion, similar to a leek, but not quite a leek, for the stuffing. I've got myoga, Japanese myoga, and I have some garlic. I have 6 cloves of garlic, half of which I'm going to stuff inside the chicken here. So, I have this trivet that comes with the Instant Pot. It's got little feet on it to keep everything up off of the bottom of the pot here. So, in that goes. I'm going to place some more garlic in as well. And I'll spread the green onions around as well. I also want some of this marinade inside here. And this will go into the pot, breast side up. The leftover marinade I'll simply drizzle along the top, along the legs and the wings. Okay, so I'm going to rinse this bowl here with 3 cups of filtered water. That way none of the marinade goes to waste. This goes into the Instant Pot, and I'm taking care not to get it on top of the marinade. I want it just at the edge here and fill it up from the bottom. Perfect. Let me turn this around for you so you can see what I'm doing here. So that'll take a while to come up to pressure, and then it will steam, pressure cook for 15 minutes, and then I will do a manual release, and it'll be done. And then I'll let it cool, because this is a dish best served cool. You can serve it warm, but it's also very good served cold. Okay, so let's see what happens next. Okay, you can see the timer's already gone off. I'm 6 minutes over. That's okay. I'm going to take a quick look at it and see how it came out. It looks pretty good, and I don't want to burn my fingers, so I've got these wonderful little froggy mouths. Careful pulling this out. Okay. So I'm going to let that cool right here on the kitchen counter. And this broth I'm going to use later. I'll save that. I can cook some rice in it, make a soup with it, have it as a soup stock. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. What say you, Spunky? What say you? Does it look pretty good? Yeah, it looks good to me. Okay, I've just taken the chicken out of the refrigerator. It's quite cool. I'm going to remove the stuffing. I can chop up some of the garlic and the green onions and use them in a soup or something like that. Okay. Okay, a clean platter for the cutting. Okay, I'm hoping my knife is sharp enough. It should be. Alrighty, let's see what we can do here. So it's handy to have a nice cleaver like this. So I just cut it in half. And now let's section this. There we go. Find a good place to section this here. Yeah, right there. Okay, and here's the thigh. Okay. This is part of the backbone. Again, this is the back as well. This is the little tail part. Okay, so here we have a thigh. I'm going to cut this. Okay. This is the leg. I'm going to cut that into small pieces. The end part I won't need at all. I'll put that there. And the wing is rather small. So I'll just put that there. And here we have a nice big breast. You can see how taut the skin is. That's very nice. That's why I was trying to be very careful in the beginning. See how nice and taut it is? Very nice. So. Okay. So there's a good half. I'm going to save this other half for another day. Kind of like the way that has turned out. Now, I'm not done yet. There's more. Okay, I'm going to get my rice going here. I've got some basmati rice. And I used about two of these cups. So I'm going to use about 2 of these cups for the broth. This is the broth from the steamed chicken that I saved from the Instant Pot. 2. Yeah, that should be enough. Give this a bit of a stir. And I saved the garlic from the cavity of the chicken. So I'm going to add that in and just spread that around slightly. That'll give the rice added depth of flavor. Okay, and I'll get the heat going on that. Bring that up to a boil. And then I'll reduce the heat. And wouldn't you know it, a delivery comes just now. I'll be right back. Okay, here I'm going to saute the ginger and the green onions. I have about 2 tablespoons of peanut oil going here. So first I'm going to add the ginger. And I'll add a bit of salt. Then the green onions. Quite a bit. I like green onions. And we're going to add some sesame oil. It's about a tablespoon. And a little bit more of the broth. And that should do it. Okay, I've turned off the heat. And I'll let that stand. Until the rice is done. Okay. Okay, a nice boil here. We'll turn this down all the way. And we'll let that steam. And I want to check on the rice. See how we're doing here. What I did do was put some of the chicken pieces back into the pot just to warm them up a little bit, not to warm them all the way through, just to warm them up a little bit. Okay, I think I'm ready to plate. By the way, this is a Japanese rice cooker, simple rice cooker. It's got a wooden lid and the cast iron pot. I like it a lot. Okay, so our heat is off. Alrighty, let's I like my jasmine rice rather on the al dente side. Now for the topping. So here's my lunch. Steamed Chinese chicken, steamed with garlic and ginger. It's sitting on a bed of jasmine rice and has a topping of ginger and green onions. And over here, this is dark miso soup with tofu. Well, that was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy the recipe. I'll leave a link down below. You can check out the original for yourself and give it a try. So, how's Spunky doing, huh? How you doing? Okay. Till we meet again, do take care. Have a great weekend, a great week ahead. Take care. Bye-bye.